What's up, Blueprint family? How y'all doing tonight? Thank you all for joining us again for another episode of the Blueprint Family Jewels. And tonight's topic is how to tell if your friend wants more. What does that mean? Your friend. We all have friends, right? But this is a very interesting question that we got in from a younger viewer, and he's trying to navigate relationships. So let's dig on in. Let's dive on in,
Yeah.
shall we?
Yes, we shall. Okay. Set us on up. All right. I'm gonna bring this a little. There we go. All right. So the subject. I don't know if she's developing romantic feelings. My friend and I, both 21, have known each other for around 6 years at this point, and ever since the moment we first met, it seems we just developed a very trusting relationship. It became sort of a habit to just tell each other everything, how we felt, who we dated, our personal issues, traumas, and deep stuff like that. Personally, I've always felt quite comfortable with what we've had. I'd say that our relationship is pretty serious despite the fact we've never officially date each other. But I mean, we act very close to each other. We've invited each other to some really important events in our lives. Her parents call me every now and then. We cuddle and sleep together at every chance we get. But recently, I felt an uncomfortable sexual tension between us since, well, she's been having rocky relationship with her boyfriend, and I've recently been through a breakup. Despite that, we've been acting as we always do, sleeping together, talking, going on little dates, and all that good jazz. But one day she suggested that we should move in together because if she doesn't get a place, she'll have to leave the city. The thing here is that she specifically told me that she wouldn't mind leaving if I was to go with her or stay here with. And honestly, at this time we've spent together, we recently has been giving a different mood, like a about to start dating mood. So I'm just confused about my feelings right now. I don't know if she's developing romantic feelings for me or if I'm the one developing them, or maybe both. Any advice?
I'll be confused no more. I have a prescription for you. So I guess let's start off by dissecting this letter. This is a weird situation.
Yeah.
It is a common one though. Young people do this sort of mess all the time, dealing with roommates and so-called friends of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Now, naturally, here's a side note, is that when you start communicating with somebody of the opposite sex for a long time, believe it or not, you all do form a bond. And sometimes you all may know each other better than you know yourselves. So why not try to date that person and marry that person?
Yeah.
I have heard that this happens and that these relationships do last a long time. To be
Yeah.
honest with you,
Yeah, and that's kind
I
of what
know
everybody talks about too, wanting something like that.
I know, people at my job who've done this. They've they dated their friend who they known for over 10 some years, and they eventually married this person. And it was such a plutonic, deal starting out. So let's dive into it. So they're both 21. That's a red flag
Yeah.
for the young man, because I know one thing for a fact is probably he is not a provider, meaning that he's not able to provide a two-person income for his for this situation.
Yeah.
And why do I say a two-person income? Is because eventually one day this lady may want to have children. So you have to look into that aspect. If she has to take time off work, who's going to be you providing that extra income? Or maybe she has a career job and she can go on vacation. But it's
Right.
always safe if a man himself can also provide the two-person income
Yeah.
in this situation. So
Yeah.
and then also too, they don't have to go through this struggle love situation where they're arguing and fighting because they don't have enough money for things.
Yeah.
So that is something that they have to consider. This is no longer 1984, 1980, 1964,
Right.
where you could get married in your early 20s, and also to $55,000 was enough for the American dream,
Right.
because in today's economy, it is not at all. So
Mhm.
we can move forward.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. They developed that very trusting relationship, like you said. That happens, you know.
how long they known each other? For 6 years?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it said 6 years. Yep.
For
For
6 years
around
at this
6 years.
point. Yep, trusting relationship.
Yeah. This is the part. Okay, y'all are really deep in with y'all talk what you all talk about, which is great, you know, for a good friendship, especially and even preferably a deep relationship going further. But it's just kind of like a blurred line to me, because it said he'll say stuff like our relationship is pretty serious despite the fact we've never officially dated each other. So it's kind of like a blurred lines to where it seems like you guys are considering each other as an option and dating. Wow, you know.
Yeah, that's what fear does to people. Is preventing them from getting into a relationship with each other, because they
Yeah.
known each other as friends first, not wanting to mess up their friendship. But
Right.
doesn't relationships supposed to grow? This is how
Mhm.
you find a wife, a husband. First, you
Mhm.
become friends with someone, and then you progress the relationship. This is something
Yeah.
that is normal. So don't be afraid of that.
Right.
Trying to mess up a friendship. It has nothing to do with that. The only way you can mess up your friendship is if you act if you do something wrong in your relationship, like
Right.
try to cheat on
Right.
this person by messing with your ex, or what have
Mhm.
you. Um, and then, to be honest with you, who's to say that y'all, both of you all's relationship with your exes failed because of your friendship?
Right. Because
To
you
be
guys are
honest,
doing all of
all this
this.
cuddling together at
That's
night
what
and
I'm
sleeping,
saying.
like, to
Yeah.
and then
Such a blurred line, like
right,
gracious. Y'all might as well have been dating.
right, and then also too, I mean, you have to look at it as, can you all right, you all can trust each other.
Mm-hmm.
You probably are the best people to be with to trust each other, being the fact that um you all are cuddling while you all are having relationships with other people.
Yeah.
That's weird. Now that part is weird.
And sleep together at every
Every chance
chance
we
we
get.
get. That's a bit much. Again, like that's what it's in a weird way. Like, okay, I get what you're saying. Like, they're young, especially they're 21 years old. Like, you're young, and I get it. You're probably both open in a way, dating around, but you all really see that you like each other. So of course later on what we're going to get into is exactly what we're our topic for tonight, how to really go about this, because in this particular thing, although we are always recommending that the man is fully ready to go to take on this relationship, if you are mentally prepared for that and you're willing to go through that struggle love with this person, there are some things and some steps that you can take to really turn what seems to be like a relationship you all already have established in a weird way, like into something that is legitly established and that can really build into something, special. But first off, y'all got to get some conversation going, because this is just it's weird. And yeah.
Go back.
Mhm.
The last line. But recently, I've felt an uncomfortable sexual tension between us.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, you sleeping with each other.
And the same bed every chance you get.
Right.
It
So,
makes me wonder if they're virgins.
no, they're not, because they have relationships with other people.
So then have they actually done anything with each other?
You
Like
have to ask that person.
acting
We
like
don't
we
know.
always do, right? Sleeping together, talking, going on little dates, all that good, like, okay, so that again,
But
it's
one day she
weird.
suggested that we should move in together. Now, it's to hold the brakes.
Great.
First, you need to have a conversation about
Yeah.
relationship and the intention of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Being that you all are 21,
Mm-hmm.
I think that you all need to take things slower,
Yeah.
and have the conversation first about whether you all could see each other being married
Right.
in the future. And if the answer is no, then
Right.
no, you don't need to be dating each other.
Moving in together.
Right,
Yeah.
moving in together, especially the opposite sex.
Right.
Because what happens is that if you all do decide to date other people, automatically there's going to be trust issues, and those trust issues are going to be coming from the people that they're dating.
Yeah.
Once you move, imagine the guy having a girlfriend over first date, and then she sees another female on the couch.
Yeah.
Weird, awkward.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
that ain't going. That the female, if she's in any right mind, then she would be like, "Look, you're cool and all, but this ain't working out.
Right.
I'm not going to be with you with the fact that you are roommates with another female, and God forbid that she's very attractive. Like,
right.
no, that ain't gonna happen.
Right.
So you all are dooming your own relationships with other people by living with living co-ed. You're living co-ed, and it's not that is not the best way to maintain a relationship outside of what you all already have.
Right.
Now, should you all date? Sure, try it. The thing is this.
Steps.
The thing is this. Then you all need to also have a conversation about lifestyle changes, because you need to establish the fact that you are not a provider yet, and she's going to have to be 100% sold on being with you and struggling with you, check the check, trying to build a family. So what I don't suggest is that you all have children in your 20s. You all are going to have to wait until your 30s to have children. And the reason being is because,
or at least hustle really hard until they get established. Like, don't,
wait until your 30s, because that hustling is, you're going to have to save that money up until your 30s. Look, your rent, I don't know where you live at, but you're probably paying $12,000 to $16,000 for rent.
Right.
And you probably only make like $35,000 to $50,000.
And he hasn't mentioned anything in this letter about her working either. It's just that
right. You don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, because he just says, like, she specifically told me that she wouldn't mind leaving because she asked to get a place, find a place or whatever.
Right.
And so, I mean, that just seems like he would be footing her. But that, again, that'd be something he have to take on. Like, if that's what he really wants to do. That's what I'm saying. He's young.
That's what I'm saying. Because in this struggle love situation, people lose jobs. People get pregnant, and extra money has to come from somewhere. My man, the fact that you're 21 years old, like I said, that you're probably only making an average income at best, and it's going to be such a struggle trying to maintain that relationship and living check to check
and get himself established as a man, like, because it seems he's 21,
right? And you're 21.
I wonder if they're in school or like,
and how serious you all about being married.
Exactly. Now, if this is something, again, we're gonna go into what to do if this is something you're really, really considering. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you did ask the question. So we'll be honest. We'll give you both of it. But to be honest, you're young. As a man, I don't think you're quite ready to take on that provider protector. But if, again, you're willing to go through that struggle love of working together and establishing things, then, there are steps you got to take. But certainly don't move in together before you guys have even established what the heck you guys are doing. You go from a friendship that's all cuddly, lovey, dovey, meanwhile talking to other people, meanwhile don't know what y'all doing. Like, y'all have to figure out what you're doing before you can even think about taking a serious step like moving in together. Say that like so casually. Oh, let's just move in together.
Right, because he's coming from a place of not knowing.
Yeah.
You're young, childlike mind. You still don't know.
Things change, yeah.
So all right, what else we got? Anything else to dissect from this? Different mood. He's confused. Of course you are.
Yeah.
You are very confused because you're wanting to build a relationship with your friend, your best friend, it seems like, and you both are failing at any other relationship that's outside of what you all have. Right. Which is normal because you are already, very close.
Right.
So, and known each other for 6 years.
Yeah, right. Hey, if that is the case, first, I guess his first question was, how do you tell if she's developing, romantic feelings? Dude, he already says, like, we're getting, we have pretty much a serious relationship without it being a relationship. So obviously.
So are we keeping our suggestion till the end?
No, we can do it now.
Okay.
Yeah, do it all.
Well, I mean, what I suggest is that you don't get into this relationship.
Like that.
You first, you need to establish yourself. You need to save money so that you can buy a house or own a home. You need to have that much money, get your credit up as a young man, because what you don't want to do is get into this rocky relationship, having to fight an ex-boyfriend or whatever the case may be, being the fact that you all are so young and you've dated people in the past. And one of the things that she's going to be looking for as a wife is making sure that you can provide for her.
Right.
She may be working too, but eventually down the road, you all are going to start having children, whether you all plan it or not. So what does that look like as far as the family dynamic and you as playing the role of the husband, and she's playing the role as the wife? If you do that so early, it's going to be so much harder for you. You all are going to be arguing and fighting about finances, especially if you start having children. So that's my advice to you. Wait, hold off until your 30s at least. That's at the very least. Don't even consider the relationship. Be friends, be cordial, but don't make any major mistakes like trying to turn your best friend into your wife so early, to the point that you all are, like I said, struggling and trying to figure things out next financially, and and let alone don't be in a situation where you're having children with her so early, because it's going to be very hard. Trust me, very hard.
Yeah, especially if you're not in a career, you don't have any way of making more money or like a path of like how you can make more money,
Right.
And you gotta have all that.
And I understand it sucks. I mean, we live in a hard economic time right now where our parents and grandparents thrived off of $50,000 incomes.
Right.
You could afford a 3-bedroom house, 4-bedroom house, 2 cars, and raise a whole family of 3 children.
Yeah.
With that salary. That was a lot of money back then, but today it's a drop in the bucket. So that's my answer. That's it.
Yeah. And that's super important to consider, like whether or not you're ready in particular. So I mean, just a simple question of, I don't know if she's developing romantic feelings or if I'm developing, or both. Any advice?
Put those feelings on hold.
Of course you are, but
put those feelings on hold. Let her go and see if she can find a husband, to be honest with you. Because she needs a provider, someone who's, if she's ready for marriage. It doesn't seem like it. It seems as if like she's just trying to keep you around as a roommate, to be honest with you. You all ain't even discussed having a relationship, and all of a sudden she has you wrapped up and thinking that this is something more than what it is.
Conveniently when she has to leave town.
And also conveniently after a breakup. Both of you have endured a breakup. You both are lonely, so you all are going through emotional decision making, and you need to think logically. Put logic over emotions and think with your logic. This doesn't even sound right. It doesn't sound like a safe situation, or a safe ideal situation for you to be in a situation where you can thrive and be successful.
And certainly not something you just jump into living with somebody.
Right. So go ahead and let her skip town, find a job somewhere else. That's what she said. She was going to move to another city or something, right?
So all right, she has to, because
if she doesn't,
if she doesn't get a place, she'll have to leave the city.
Go ahead and let her go. Let her be on her way. You all can still be friends. But what I'm doing is saving you a lot of hell and heartbreak and arguing and fighting and fussing, because you all didn't come into this friendship with an idea of establishing a relationship.
Right.
And also too, it's too early for you, young sir. So that is all that's my 2 cents. Those are my jewels that I'm dropping right there.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get that. And of course, the suggestions that we're about to give now are really more so geared towards if you are even interested in figuring out how to make this friendship work. In particular, when it comes to this young man, certainly, again, don't do this per se with living with this young lady. But if this is something you're considering, like, hey, maybe we could make this into a friendship to where we're building together and, growing up together, because that's really what it's going to have to take when you're young like this, 21 years old. It's going to take that grace with each other. It's going to take, because y'all have to learn new habits, new behaviors, new everything. Y'all growing up, y'all don't know nothing about a relationship, less more life. Like, all of that you got to do together,
Yeah, but also too, this advice is also for older people too as well, who are in their 30s and are really ready, or may be ready, but their option is their best friend, which is the
Right.
opposite sex.
Right.
And you don't know whether or not this person is really digging you, or either you're dating someone for a while and you don't even know where you all are at in the
Yes.
relationship. So this advice is for you all as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you are dating a friend, you do already have that foundation of trust and shared interests that's already established and great for starting in a relationship. But, here's some simple signs that, hey, your friend may actually be interested in you. So the first one, of course, they make an effort to spend a lot of time with you alone, right? So y'all may have y'all group of friends or whatever the case may be, but they may find a way to always, take you out to dinner, pull you to the side, spend more time with you alone. So of course that, may look like with or without your friends or family members, but just in general, they
Right.
would want to spend time with you.
I wanted to go off. I wanted to digress a little bit
Okay.
in this, and mainly talking to pretty much like the modern young women that's out there,
Yeah.
and if they have maybe a friend or older friend, or either just mid-30 women, and they
Yeah.
have a friend who's around that they don't consider because
Yeah.
one, they're like the nerdy type or whatever,
Yeah.
but they're always consistent in their
Right.
lives. You
Yeah.
really need to consider somebody like that, and if these top tips that we are giving you are this person, and your relationships fail, and this person that you haven't considered is the nerdy type person, but they're always there for you, then maybe this is your husband that you really need to consider. And if you're all the other relationships have failed,
Yeah.
because a lot of women do that often at times. They put the guy in a friend box. Oh, he's so cute, and
Mhm.
whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
We'll just put him in the friend box. Let me call him up when I need help or something like that. And they use the heck out of these guys.
That's
But
unfortunate.
yeah, it is.
Because you really miss out like on what's in front of you.
Right. And then that's probably your karma, that the fact that with the handsome jock guys, just like in high school, these guys
Right.
don't
Take advantage of
take
you.
right.
Yeah.
They don't take advantage of wanting to be in a relationship with you,
Right.
but they take advantage of you, and then you go
Mhm.
cry to the nerdy guy or whatever who's always been consistent for you, who's your best friend.
Who you are taking advantage of.
Right, who you're taking advantage of. Right, exactly. So that's the reason why it's happening. But I digress, because that needs to be said, because that goes on more times than often. It really
Yeah.
does happen. So let's continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Good
All right.
point. Good
So
point.
another tip or another point is that they compliment uh,
You often.
you often. So there's
Yeah.
someone who tells you that you're beautiful, or a woman, they tell you that you're handsome. Oh no, you're smart, you're funny. I like being around you, you're talented.
Mhm.
You're creative. They
Yeah.
admire you.
Mhm.
And then these are the people that often at times, like I said, you just ignore those things about them that are so
Yeah.
nice, because you're trying to fight being in a relationship with those people.
Or you put it in the perspective of, oh, that's just my friend. Like that's, like,
Right.
because we're quick to say, oh, you're my friend, you're supposed to encourage me and stuff like that. But that person could really be interested in you, and you're missing out on it. And they're really actually showing you, hey, I'm interested because I'm paying attention. That's really the most important thing, is that this person is paying attention to you and noticing you and saying like, hey, I like what I see. Like, and I'm verbalizing this, but you probably friend zone them.
Right, exactly. So they comment about your hair, your clothing, makeup,
Yeah.
to those women, or either the female may be complimenting you, guys out there, the way you dress, or you're handsome, or I like your eyes, or you're so nice, and all of
Yep.
those things. So
Yep.
just pay attention to those compliments, because that is a sign too that that person may like you, or want to somehow get into a relationship with you.
Yep. Yep. Another one would be if they often look to touch you. Any excuse to wrap their arms around you, have some type of physical contact with you, is often a way that says, hey, I like you. Usually you wouldn't go out your way to touch somebody you're not too much interested in. So that is certainly one. Oh, what happened? Sorry, trying to make sure our Instagram is still up. I don't know if it's connected. Hold on, Instagram. I think it's still up. But yeah, they're certainly still they're interested in you if they are looking to touch you and, hold your hand or wrap their arms around you or, any little thing like that.
Right. Especially when they're talking to you. So they give you deep eye contact when they're talking to you. They're very attentive. So they are clear and present when they speak with you, and they look towards that as well.
Yep. Oh, our battery died.
Well,
That's what happened. Darn Instagram. Sorry, Instagram, our battery died today. That's what happens. Kids get to stuff and you can't charge it up like
yeah,
it's supposed
but
to.
I can let me go ahead and go ahead and continue.
We won't be able to because it won't stand up straight. I mean, we could tilt it the other way. Well, drive it while you fly it. Let's see. Anyway, so another way. Hold on, I'm gonna close this out too. Bring this in. But we are still live on YouTube. Cool. So another way that you could really tell if your friend is interested in you more so than just a friend is if they seem jealous of you, right? So in particular, this guy was saying that, hey, his girl / friend was talking to him and like about his relationships and stuff like that. So maybe she might have been showing some signs of, jealousy, especially if they make comments about how the other person isn't good for you, how, y'all don't look good together, or might even try to change the subject when you're talking, little things like that. All of those are signs that, hey, they're probably interested in you and maybe feeling a little jealous about the fact that, you got something else going on. So that certainly is something to consider. Another one is if they ask you like personal questions about like your dating life. So it kind of goes right into, I guess, the jealousy, but more so on the other side of really just being nosy and trying to figure out what's going on in your relationship. So to get all personal and ask you deep questions about how you really feel, if you're ready to take things like to the next level with this person, or even if you're interested or in someone. So just in general, showing this general interest in your dating life can really show that, hey, they might be wanting to know if you're single or not for a reason, because they might like you more than just a friend. Another one is kind of what this guy was talking about kind of being awkward around each other. So you're starting to feel this awkward tension, something like, blushing or stuttering or fidgeting when they're talking to you, little things that actually show like, hey, I'm feeling a little nervous. I actually like you and I want to make a good impression on you. All of those things really can show that a friend is looking to be more than a friend or either interested in that. But, if you notice any of these signs, of course, that may or may not mean that they're interested in you. Sometimes these are just natural characteristics that a person may have. Maybe a person is like flirty or, just having that type of personality with them. So, maybe if they're touchy-feely a little more, we kind of went into the wanting to touch you and stuff like that. But, if they're just naturally that type of touchy-feely type of person with everyone, you can't really always chalk that up to them specifically wanting to, be with you per se. So, yeah, just definitely being able to pick up on all those cues. But, of course, there are some challenges.
You got it from here?
Yeah. There are some challenges that come with, dating someone well, right? So we do want to get in on the good, the bad, and everything in between so that you really are able to weigh the pros and the cons of the situation that you're in your relationship and whether or not this is something that you really want to pursue or keep going. So, no. Sorry, I'm trying to hook up Instagram back. We were up live up there.
Right here.
Yeah.
The blue button.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, just go to Instagram from here. And then go to the middle live.
What's it?
Handy.
I can't. You might was plugged in.
Oh, yeah, the middle button. Sorry.
This
the plus and the bottom. There you go. Now go all the way over to where it says live. No, at the bottom. See post story. Yep. There you go. There you go. All right. I'm on intermission. I should have. It's alive. I know. That's why I was like, I don't know if it's gonna work. Mm-hmm. All right. Now we are back up. Yeah. Okay. Then we're good. All right. Thank y'all for being patient. Sorry, things happen. But we are back into it. Gonna keep going through it. Instagram is back connecting up. We're gonna go ahead back into tonight's topic. Getting back onto these relationship topics.
Yep.
So back onto it. Now, there are some challenges to catch you back up. Now that you back. There are some challenges that come along with dating a friend, of course. So we're gonna, again, like we said, go through the good, the bad, and all in between, so that you can really weigh the pros and the cons of your relationship and really help you make good, solid, logical decisions, right? So, of course, with this guy in particular, he had been friends with this young lady for 6 years. Of course, you worry about, losing the friendship. That's something you value, especially because you talk about spending so much time with this woman. So, if a relationship doesn't work out, it can be difficult to go back to that deep friendship that you had before.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, if I always think that, friends, if you all are friends and you all are looking to be in a relationship, it should work out.
Yeah.
You all, like I said before in the beginning, you all probably know each other more than anyone else.
Right.
Especially if you all spend a lot of time together, you know each other's likes and dislikes, interests, and what have you. So you should only worry about losing a friend if you're doing something you're not supposed to, and somebody is not owning up to the relationship and their roles in that relationship. So you want to make sure that you all disclose all of your expectations in the beginning of your relationship. Now that you all are trying to move towards friendship to a relationship and ultimately marriage.
Yep.
Disclose all that information so that there are no surprises. Oh, I didn't know that you don't like to clean or cook or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
By this time, you should know what to expect and how to move in this type of relationship. So don't let that happen. So there should be no issues about losing friends or friendship behind this.
Yep.
And then also too, make that known that if this relationship doesn't work out, then we will still always be friends. Make sure that if it is an issue, is not cheating or stealing or something that's very detrimental or something that where you're breaking the law with somebody. So make it work. You all can make it work, especially if this is something you all consider.
Yep, that's so true. And it's also good too, because you'll be able to see each other at your good and your bad and everything in between, which is super helpful for getting through life together. Yeah, you know what to expect kind of with how each other handles certain situations. So yeah, that is definitely a pro, and something to consider too as well. Also, jealousy is kind of an issue that sometimes can, creep in when you are friends and then you take it to something more romantic, especially if this is like you've kind of been the only person in each other's lives and you're kind of like used to that or whatever the case may be. If, you start sharing each other more in the sense of, you have your group of friends and it's just, that your spouse would want to hang out with maybe your other same group of friends at the same time, but you're interested in building and, moving your relationship to the next. It's, of course, can be kind of hard to communicate those feelings and adjusting from that friendship to that romantic, type relationship. So just again, that really goes all back to open communication and really being able to talk about it and saying, hey, I'm kind of ready to, move this to something serious. I don't want, jealousy or anything to come in between.
Right. And don't compare your relationship currently or you
Mm-hmm.
currently to their past relationship,
Yeah.
where you can start feeling jealous and say, did you do this with him and all this other stuff? And what did you all do? Stop that. Stop
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You are understanding that you're in a relationship with your friend. You know that your person's past is who they've been with, and all of the you probably
Right.
know all of the people that they've been with, him or her.
Right.
And so therefore, this is something that you need to consider too. Are you mentally prepared for this? Knowing all of what they've been through and who they've been through with and what they did and what they did not do.
Mm-hmm.
Do not compare yourself to their past exes,
Yep.
because that will mentally drain you.
Yeah.
And so you need to be mentally prepared for that if that's something that you're considering, because it may not work that out well for you. So
Yep.
go.
Oh, you want to go down? Okay.
No, I was too much baggage. Okay, I'll do that because I talk about that all the time. So if you've been friends for a long time, so that goes into what I was saying before. There's a lot of baggage that both of you all have and know about each other. You all know the dirt on each other. You all know the good stuff about each other. So they can be difficult to move your relationship forward, especially if you know the dirt on your friend and if you're considering being in a relationship with you. So it's important to build a strong relationship knowing what you know about this person. I, for one, would not, would not date someone of the opposite sex that I've known their past history as far as relationships go. I wouldn't do it because I don't care to know about those relationships. But like I said, you need to be mentally prepared if you're going to do so, because you may find yourself trying to compare yourself to their exes,
or even just chalking up how they acted in other relationships with kind of how you would think they, or in a way projecting on how you would think they would act with you in a way, especially if y'all have been friends and you've seen them treat guys wrong or girls
right?
wrong, or just
Right,
not be
or
like,
cheating,
yeah,
or
and
what, or
yeah,
you. There's a lot of trust issues that you may already have
right,
trying to date your best friend.
Yeah, so it's just something to consider.
Right, most definitely.
Yeah, and in particular with this guy in his letter, it didn't say too much about like he, thought badly about this friend that he had, which is a great thing because it is like helping to build a solid relationship for you. But at the same time, just making sure that you're aware of the full picture.
Right. I mean, his situation was more so he was thinking emotionally, not logically, about his situation. Like he's been friends with the female for 6 years, and all of a sudden they both go through breakups, and then now they're considering moving in with each other, and they cuddle in the bed, and but they don't have sex, and he's feeling some sexual tension between the both of them. Of course you do, because you're a man. You're a male. You're sleeping in a bed with a female, but you all are not having sex with each other. And evidently he finds her attractive. So but my whole thing was that he's 21. He needs to be focused on building himself up as far as careers and not having to struggle with this struggle love, because that could ultimately break their relationship as being friends even more if they get into a relationship like that. So like I said, I don't agree that they need to move in. He just need to let her go ahead and move to the other side of the city like she said she was doing, and for him to focus on himself as far as being a provider. So he needs to focus on that first, and then he can get into a relationship, have a family, and build that way.
Yep. And the great thing though, if you are willing to do the work right and prepare yourself, and you do end up staying close friends with each other, it's really a good way of being able to move a friendship into a romantic relationship, because you would have skipped the awkward get to know you phase. You know each other already and you're pretty familiar with each other. You in particular, like this young man, they're already sleeping in the bed together. So that's, a pretty intimate thing. You may not be having sex, but that's a pretty intimate thing to do with somebody. And, that within itself helps to build like a connection with that person. So we totally understand why you would want to engage in a romantic relationship with someone who you consider a close friend. But, if you want to pursue this relationship, young man in particular, being that you asked if this is something that you're going to do anyway, go about it responsibly. I know it's one you could take our responsible advice of you getting yourself together first, or you can do things your way, which people do. So if that is going to be your choice, please be responsible by doing this, by certainly not moving in with this young lady, and instead first having that conversation of establishing what you guys are even doing in a relationship. If you are moving this from a friendship to a romantic relationship, if you guys are going to be monogamous, whatever that looks like, have that all established and well talked about, and probably even maybe mapped out as to when later on you guys would eventually decide to move on and move in together and take your relationship even further or whatever. Because I get it, you can save money if you guys work together and split rent or whatever the case may be. There's other benefits.
Yeah, but I would not do a co-ed type
right.
roommate situation. That's a last resort.
Right, certainly. And of course he would be bringing the young woman into his place because she doesn't have a place. So again, we don't advise this, but we certainly advise if you're going to do it anyway, you be the one with your name on the lease. Fully, it's your place, because in that way, if any drama or something happens, you can take her out.
I think ultimately he needs to figure out whether she's trying to use him or build a relationship with him. I think that she's trying to use him because he's the one talking about all of his feelings and butterflies and all of that situation stuff. And all she's saying is that I think we need to be roommates and move in together.
Right.
So he's confused.
Right.
Only because his hormones are pushing him to wanting to have sex with her. And and then he's getting that confused with relationship. He's getting relations and relationship confused.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous game. And you need to understand that those two things are separate.
Yeah.
If you're considering a relationship with your friend, you need to ask her straight up, would you marry a man like me? Would you marry me?
Right here, right now, just the way it is.
Right. And understand, and then listen to what she says. If she says stuff like, oh, no, I wouldn't do that. We're friends. Like, no, I wouldn't do that. Then, okay, now you're in the friend box. So don't even try to pursue a situation where she's trying to live in with you.
Right.
Because your intentions were to build a relationship. Hers isn't.
Right.
And like I said from the beginning, it doesn't sound that way, that her intentions are to be in a relationship with you. He's getting that all confused. You see, girls do stuff like that. They will, as a friend in the friend box, they will, cuddle with them, sleep with them in the bed, but there's nothing else that goes on beyond that. Because what she's doing is saying that she doesn't find him fit enough to be someone that she's to be in a relationship.
Yeah, because that's weird. Why would you do all that and still have a boyfriend?
Well,
like, I don't get that.
Why do girls do that? Why do girls, the guy that's in the friend box, they dress in front of them, they will take a nap with them, sleep with them with no clothes on and all this other stuff, and then keep them in the friend box. They like that attention. That is the reason why. They like the attention. And that's what they're thriving off of. That's what this girl is thriving off with this young guy. And he doesn't see it. He's jaded by that. So he's getting confused and trying to get into her panties and thinking that, oh, she's trying to take things further. And the only thing she said was that maybe we need to, I don't have a place to stay. Can we move in together? Because if not, then I have to go across town.
Right.
Dude, you've missed all of that. That went over his head. Like,
yeah, because you quickly jump from, oh, we just friends. I just had a breakup to, oh, now like let's just move in. So it certainly seems like you guys are skipping steps.
Right. And then also too, he's lonely. He's sad. He had a breakup and that he just looking to a replacement.
Yeah. Which I
And
mean,
she
yeah.
may be too. But the thing is that I don't think it's you, because
Right.
she's not, she's not showing the same. It's not reciprocated.
Right.
The signs, he's
Yeah.
confused. He don't even know. Oh, is she trying to take the relationship? It's awkward. It is awkward. He said
Yeah.
it was awkward.
Yeah.
And it's only awkward because you're not thinking rationally. You're not thinking with logic. You're thinking with your emotions.
Right.
So if you actually start
Yeah.
thinking with your logic, it'll all make sense to you what she's doing.
Right. And that's going to require you actually sitting down, choosing a specific time and a specific date in which you guys are sitting down and having this conversation, in a way where it won't be too many distractions. You guys aren't stressed. You're both not busy. You can really have this honest conversation, and certainly not a time where you guys are, in a hurry or don't want to talk, because you really want to get to know and figure this out. If that is, what's going on and what's her intentions behind it. Certainly pump the brakes, but you need to have that time to really give yourself the answers that you need to gain that clarity for yourself. Because I mean, we can tell you all we want to tell you, but until you hear it from this person, you're not going to really, have that clear clarification for yourself. So certainly find a time, have this conversation. It's definitely needed, and one that's direct and honest, straight to the point. I love what you said. Would you need something as deep as, would you see where would you marry me right here and right now? Because if this woman is not looking to do that and honestly commit to that, which is kind of weird again, because if you guys are friends and you guys had already been feeling those feelings or something, I don't see why nobody has bothered initiating that anytime soon or anything like that. But that's what again makes me also think, this may be convenience of her needing a place to stay. Who knows? Whatever. But even if you say something like, I've now developed feelings for you, I'm looking to, even if you want to go that honest, like, I would be interested in taking this into a, another romantic, deeper romantic, but I need to know like where you're really at or something,
Right.
But certainly I don't want to move in, right now, but just some way to start that conversation.
Right. Because she could be taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then also too, be prepared for rejection. So if you've asked these questions and these, she says, oh no, I wouldn't marry you at all. No. So, where are you getting this stuff from? You're very confused. It's possible that your friend won't feel the same way about you. So if that happens, then be respectful and understand that, be respectful about their feelings, and don't, take it personal, because you got things confused because you're sleeping with her and she's naked all over you. And it's just, she just wants someone to cuddle with. She just been out of a bad relationship or whatever the case may be. That, don't be confused. Don't confuse that as a relationship being the fact, and now you understand, assuming that she rejects you.
Yeah.
So don't take it personal. You just had to know and find out for yourself, and that's okay.
I would throw in here though, if you get rejected, establish some boundaries, especially
stop
this one.
sleeping. Stop sleeping with your friends.
Yeah, like y'all are
stop cuddling with your friends. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and it ends up into a situation like this where you're just confused and you don't know what's going on, or whether or not you guys, you don't know if y'all serious or not. Y'all been dating, this my boo, like what?
Right. I know these. I know people who've done this before. They think a girl likes them. They go out on dates and stuff, and then they go and cuddle and sleep together and all, and then that goes nowhere beyond that. And eventually you have to get that sign. You have this, something has to click and be like, you know what? I'm just wasting my damn time.
Yeah.
And then you just need to stop doing that type of stuff, because you don't want to keep trying to pursue something that doesn't that doesn't become fruitful for you, because you're wasting your damn time, especially by you being so young. You're only 21. You have a lot that you need to work on.
Yeah.
And stop trying to focus on
this girl,
this your friend. Keep her in the friend box, because once you establish your relationship, and if she's still single, then it will work out better for you than trying to do that later than sooner. Trust me.
Yeah.
And then also too, don't pressure them. So if your friend says you're interested, that they're not interested in a romantic relationship, don't try to change their mind. You can't change other people's minds. You can only inspire them and hope that there is a change. I say that every, other night, that people love, we love to find somebody that we think we can mold and change them to be who we want them to be. Often at times, and what happens, you may think you're doing it, but resentment comes out. And then all of a sudden they may start competing against you if you all are in a relationship, and then all of a sudden you all have a falling out and then break up or divorce because you didn't allow them to grow who they naturally are in the relationship. And trying to change people will turn that person into your enemy, and they will try to fight you.
Yeah.
And they will fight you hard because they're like, enough is enough. I'm tired of this stuff. I ain't never want to do this in the first place. Right. And that's how you got yourself there.
Yeah. Yep, that is so true. So again, with all of this that we're saying, it's super important to just weigh out the pros and the cons to whether or not you should take this friendship to the next level. In particular, be prepared for the challenges that may come along with your decision, whatever decision it is you make. Just be ready to communicate openly and honestly about what you guys are doing. Really be clear on your intentions to move this relationship to something else. Don't speculate. Don't blur those lines. Really come to an understanding. I don't know how much I believe a man and a woman can have, a friendship per se without there being some type of, like interest in them. Whether it's, because you gain that interest. Anybody that you're a friend with, you gain that interest into their life and stuff like that. So I don't know, like
women more
maybe
so.
It's just me, my bias with that.
Women put men in friend boxes all the time, and it's very seldom that if a guy does it to a female.
Why? Like why? I don't see the point of that.
You know why? Because the fact that they may have more resources than they do. That's the reason why. They may have more money. They listen to them. They're their shoulder to cry on. They look to them for advice when dating other men. It's because of those things.
That doesn't make sense. To me, that's everything healthy. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that sounds like a pretty healthy relationship there. And why would you friend zone something like that?
Because they don't find them attractive. They're not 6 feet tall. They don't have 6 figures and everything else that goes with that. That's the reason why women friend zone nice guys. And they need to stop doing that because those are the type of people that you're supposed to be in a relationship. And especially in this example where the girl had a failed relationship and she's friend zoning this guy and having sleepovers with him and having, we call it, sleepover. She's having sleepovers with him and he's getting all confused and wants to be sexual with her and she's not taking it there. That needs to stop. And then he needs to stop sleeping with her. He needs to take accountability for this too. This is his fault, and he confused himself by doing all of this stuff with her.
Yeah.
And without asking these questions. Like I said before, I don't think she's interested in having a relationship with him. She's just more so interested in maintaining a roommate. But for that lady, she needs to stop having a male roommate. I know they're not roommates yet, but she doesn't need to entertain that thought of having him as a roommate because that will doom her next relationship of trying to find a husband. No, a lot of men will not stand for their girlfriend living with another man.
Right. And why would she even want that? And that's the part that kind of confuses me because I'm like,
because she's 21, honey.
So what?
She doesn't know any better.
I knew I wanted to be a wife, but I also knew that if I had a whole bunch of other men like lurking around, that it ruins the chance when you actually have a good guy who is interested in you. So I don't understand the whole purpose of like friend zoning. If you meet a guy and you like him and he's interested and he's showing you all these great qualities, why not, invest that into building a relationship?
I understand that, but he may not be attractive. She may not find him attractive. But that's the thing is that
you can cuddle with him. Like
he might be too big for her liking or whatever the case may be. I heard that
that is
big
intimate
people
though. Cuddling is very intimate. That is something.
Yeah, but women have the mental capacity to do intimate things, but not act intimately on those things.
Just use it for like a manipulation type thing because
right, or either trying to keep him in the pocket as a fallback.
Right. Okay.
That women do that. Young girls do this type of stuff all the time, honey. They do. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen.
That's unfortunate, but kind of to get slightly back onto topic, if though you do have a friend who is actually interested in you and you guys can actually move this into something, hopefully something that can build into a good romantic relationship, because like we said, having a friendship, I think that is a great start for any relationship. If you guys can really genuinely be friends, it's super though important to have those open and honest conversations about feelings, needs, and expectations.
Right. But also too, you start the friendship off, but you have the expectation
Yeah.
of being more in the future.
Right. Not just friend zoning and
friends.
confusing
Right.
the whole
Like
concept.
their
Yeah.
situation. They've been friends for 6 years. She never considered this guy for 6 years. What makes you think that another 6 years she would consider him?
Right. Unless it's like, last resort. But again, she's young and stuff. Again, too,
Right.
specifically, this would be what is considered a homogamous relationship. So a relationship of your peers, social status, something, same
Of
age.
equal.
Yeah. Right. So in particular, they're 21. So that just concept in a way, she should really more so be focused on being a wife. I agree with that aspect, but he should more so be focused on having himself in a better position so that he can then be a husband if that's something he, seems interested in. I think if, especially in particular, you guys haven't talked about you guys dating and building a relationship to where you can grow with each other, I wouldn't so much try to move this type of relationship into that. Because like you said, it's already kind of, iffy. It's kind of a rocky start to start on. But, if this is something that you're actually willing and wanting to do, homogamous relationships really do require a lot of grace. At the end of the day, you guys are growing together. You guys are trying to grow in life in general together. If you as a man don't have yourself together and you're considering bringing her into your place, which we do not recommend, you need to make sure that you are first establishing your career and getting yourself up and together so that you can, if you do decide to take on a wife, actually be able to provide for her and stuff, not just bring her in and date and play house with each other.
Right. Yeah, because
like,
that's gonna burn you in the end.
yeah,
If you
if
playing
not create
house.
more drama.
Right.
Even you in your bachelor life, like it can kind of take you off of your purpose because you got this woman who, even if y'all say y'all just gonna be friends living together, like she could get jealous, she could, flip switch the way it seems at any point in time. So it's just super important that you protect yourself. And in protecting yourself means preparing, right? That's really the only way you prepare. You can actually know that you're going to win a war is if, you protect and prepare, and all's fair in love and war. So you honestly, I think, need to be a little more wise about what you're going to do and, yeah, give yourself that space to grow into the man that you need to be before you go trying to worry about a woman too.
Yep. Do anyone have any questions? This is a live show. And we do take questions at any time during our shows as well. So if you have any questions or any issues or topics that you will want to talk about while we're talking, please, by all means, feel compelled to throw it in the chat. And we will respond to them and take a pause and work on those questions for you. But that's the end of our show tonight. We also give the option Instagram followers to watch us on YouTube. So if you can please like, share, and subscribe our videos, we really appreciate it. Thank you. And then also too, if you want to remain anonymous, you can send us a message at www.wifeconomics.com/submit a question, where you can submit a question anonymously. And then also do check out my wife's website for the wife courses. These courses will instill great skills and also understanding on what it takes to be a wife and how to maintain a healthy relationship with a man. So until next time, Blueprint family, we really appreciate you and thank you for joining us tonight, and peace.
Hey.